The Woodlands, Texas consistently is rated one of the highest and best quality places to live in the United States. And if you're thinking about moving right here to the Woodlands, Texas, we're gonna continue our segment and kind of series of exploring the different villages in great detail. On today's episode, we're gonna talk about the village of Indian Springs. There's a lot about this village, even though it's the smallest village in the Woodlands, and I'm excited to share all the details. We're gonna talk about the schools, the parks, the real estate, the shopping centers, what the life is actually like whenever you live, not only in the Woodlands, but specifically Indian Springs. Be sure to stick around to the end of the video where we're gonna talk about what the real estate is like right here in this village. Now, let's jump right into the video. The first thing that I want to talk about is where is Indian Springs located? So it's one of the most central villages in the Woodlands, although it's one of the smallest as well. It's very centrally located and it is landlocked. So there's no direct access from I-45 or 2978 or even 242. You have to go and get to it from one of the main roads in the Woodlands, like Woodlands Parkway. So it is basically south of Woodlands Parkway, in between Gosling and at the very end of Flint Ridge Road. We're about 10 minutes from the Woodlands Mall and about 15 minutes from I-45 if you need to commute, anywhere really north or south. It's relatively close by. The village of Indian Springs has about 2,200 homes in the village, and that does make it one of the smallest ones. Now, some of the unique things that you're gonna find here in Indian Springs is actually gonna be the topography. The Woodlands in Texas, for the most part, is going to be a pretty flat area. The Woodlands doesn't have a lot of terrain and differences in elevation, but on Flint Ridge, you actually have quite a bit of rolling hills. There are some luxury homes and estates that back up to the George Mitchell Nature Preserve that have a lot of kind of drop off and a really great vantage point. Behind me is the road of Flint Ridge, and you do have quite a bit of hills. I'm a big runner. I love to run on Flint Ridge because there is a lot of elevation change. It's kind of a nice break in my runs, and it's really cool to have kind of the hills here in Indian Springs. Obviously, there's a lot of woods in and around the Woodlands, but something that's unique about Indian Springs is going to be its access and proximity to the George Mitchell Nature Preserve. Now, this is on the south side of Flint Ridge, and it really separates Indian Springs from Creekside, and it's kind of the barrier between Montgomery County and Harris County. But this is a really, really great feature that is utilized by a lot of residents to even further immerse themselves into nature. So it's just about 1,800 acres of preserved natural green space. There's a 2-mile hiking trail and a 3-mile biking trail. It's a great way if you want to go on a hike from the main part of the Woodlands down into Creekside, you can access that. It's a really, really great feature that is utilized by a lot of people just to get themselves in nature, see some wildlife. And again, it is conveniently located within Indian Springs. In addition to the nature preserve, we are at one of the destination parks here in Indian Springs. This is Falcon Wing Park. It's recently gone and had some renovations done. There's a beautiful new pickleball court with lots of different courts. There's an awesome turf sports field as well. You've got the swimming pools with lap lanes. You've got basketball courts, playgrounds for kids. There's lots of really great options here. In addition to this, you're gonna still have your neighborhood parks that are gonna be located right outside of potentially within your neighborhood, right? So the hike, bike, and walking trails will connect you from one park to the other, to your neighborhood, to even other villages, and to the village shopping centers. Let's go check that out right now. Quality of life and amenities are an important part of any move, and specifically here in the Woodlands, they're top-notch. Now, in the village of Indian Springs, your shopping centers, you actually have 2 different options. So the first one behind us right now is called the Woodlands Crossing, and this is where your Trader Joe's is going to be located. It's the only one in the Woodlands, right now at least, right here. You have an Ace Hardware, some other local shops, some medical, dentist. You have a Starbucks if you want to meet somebody, grab a cup of coffee. That's going to be right here. And then across the street, across Kirkendall Road, is going to be the main Indian Springs shopping center. This is where your anchor H-E-B is going to be. There's lots more medicals, Supercuts, gas station, Chili's. There's car wash, dry cleaners, anything you want, different banks is going to be right there. This is a little bit more secluded. That is going to be a little bit more open and have lots of different options for you. But both are minutes away from your neighborhood. So where we've been filming these other shots and different things about the parks or the schools, it's 1 or 2 minutes on either direction from where we are right now. Now, I will be honest with you and let you know that a negative of this area is going to be its traffic during kind of some more frequent commuting times. Like I said, we are off of Kirkendall and Woodlands Parkway here, and that's one of the biggest intersections in the Woodlands. So around that 8 a.m. or 9 a.m. or 5 p.m. rush hour time, this can feel a little bit congested. After school, you may be bringing your kids here to get some groceries or a quick snack. Parking can be kind of a little bit of a challenge, specifically in the shopping center. So I like to let people know about that potential traffic kind of near and around their community. But I will let you know that in the neighborhoods and in the connecting streets, you really don't notice it at all. Speaking of schools and kids, let's talk about that right now. Many of our clients that are moving here are families and they have kids, and so schools become a big question for them and something they want to prioritize and they want to learn more about. So behind us is actually a couple different things. One, it's a church, there's also a charter school, and there's a after-school kind of kiddie academy, if you will, all in one location right here within Indian Springs. Now, the schools in Indian Springs are a part of Conroe ISD, as all of the Woodlands are. It's nationally rated, it's super great. You're zoned to the Woodlands High School and then McCullough Junior High. Whenever we're talking about elementary and intermediate schools, things start to change a little bit depending on which half of Indian Springs you're on. So it's either gonna be Mitchell and Gladys or Colson Tough, basically, and then into junior high and then high school. So all are amazing. Down below, we're gonna link a link for you to check out the schools a little bit more, kind of on your own, but reach out. I'm happy to give more details about them. Another really cool perk of Indian Springs is going to be the private school that's located here. One of the best private schools in the Woodlands, also one of the most expensive, is called John Cooper, and it's right at Woodlands Parkway in Flint Ridge. Now, it's their mascot's the dragon, which is they're known as the Cooper Dragons, and the Woodlands mascot, one of them is the dragon too. In Lake Woodlands, you'll see the dragon, the iconic dragon as you drive in, so it's kind of a play on that there. They've got unbelievable academics. They've got good sports now too. If that's something that you're interested in, reach out. We can point you in the right direction there as well. Now we get to talk about my favorite topic, which is the real estate here in Indian Springs. Each village is different. They have their own styles, but honestly, Indian Springs is even more unique than some of the other ones, mainly because it is the smallest village, but it also probably has some of the most expensive real estate. What I love about the Woodlands, and that we see in a lot of other places too, is that you have quite the spread of home prices. And we still do see that here, but I will say Indian Springs kind of demands a little bit more of a premium whenever it comes to price per square foot or homes. Kind of the entry level price in Indian Springs is going to be a little bit more than that of Cochran's Crossing or Alden Bridge, right? Realistically, I think kind of the average home here in Indian Springs is going to be north of $700,000. Now that's going to be a good size home. It's going to have 4 bedrooms, an office, maybe even a pool in a really great location. But again, that price per square foot is going to be a little bit more. Now, Indian Springs does have, as I said, there's some homes that back up to the preserve, and they're actually oversized lots. Neighborhoods like Bracebridge or Heritage Hills. Now, these are going to have some homes that have over an acre of land on them, but these are going to be homes that are close to $2 million, right? 6,000 square feet or more. So again, we have the wide variety, but it kind of comes at a little bit more of a premium. Now, property taxes here are about 1.8%. And as we love in the Woodlands, there is no homeowners association, unless you're in maybe a specific neighborhood or you have a gate in the neighborhood as well, or if you're in a little townhome too. Those may have their own HOAs, but general homes like the ones behind me, not going to have HOAs, and your property tax is going to be 1.8% of your assessed value. If you are thinking about moving to the Woodlands and Indian Springs is on the top of your list, let's start that conversation right now, because it can be a little bit more competitive of a village to find something in. We often have to do a little bit more networking or trying to find something maybe coming soon or off market in this neighborhood with our colleagues and with other realtor resources that are here locally. So reach out, we'd love to start that conversation, but just wanted to set that expectation because the real estate here is pretty great. When it comes to the Woodlands villages, each of them has their own personality and draws, and Indian Springs has a lot to offer. Now, if you're thinking about moving to the Woodlands, Texas and relocating here, reach out to me. I'm happy to give you some more specific information about Indian Springs or any other village as well. To those of you that live in the Woodlands, did we miss anything? What is your favorite part about Indian Springs? Again, if you want more information or want to reach out to us and start the conversation about moving here, down below is going to be a link to our website where we can start that casual conversation. Thanks so much for your time, and we'll see you on the next video.